Vice News. Oh, Vice News. Yeah, Vice News.
I said I'm doing ayahuasca with drug lords in Colombia, bitch. It's Vice News, yo, I'm talking to cannibals in Paris. I said it's Vice News, we're getting real now. We're getting up in the big bad dirt, yo, it's in-tick, tuba da. It's journalism with integrity, I'm talking about Vice News. You think we won't do it? We'll motherfucking do it.
We'll motherfucking do it, bitch. It's Vice News, damn it. Said I'm talking about.
Oh, hey Dexter, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm all right, man. Well, I'm realizing that I'm interrupting you right now, but I feel like we got a bunch of people watching, so I should let them know what the heck it is that they're looking at. So I'll introduce you in a second, but to let people know who I am for a hot sec, my name is Dexter Thomas. I'm a correspondent for Vice News, and you know, it's some weird times we're going through right now, but we're all going through it. And so we started up this series called Receiver, and basically the idea is that we're checking in with musicians all over the world, and you know, just seeing what they're working on, what's going through their minds, and you know, maybe listen to some music, maybe have a conversation. So for the second weekly installment of this, we got Marc Rebillet. So thanks for being here with me, man.
My pleasure, Dexter. Thank you for having me on. It's been a pretty big career dream to do something with Vice, so it's a real honor, dude.
Yo, I'm glad you're here, man. So look, I know you have a lot of fans. There are a lot of people who are extremely familiar with your work. You have a lot of nicknames. You got a lot of AKAs.
I do.
I mean, I heard people call you what? The Loop Daddy, right?
That's
I heard
the big
Loop
one.
Daddy, the big one. I've heard the Mozart of Dallas.
I don't know when or where that happened, but I don't think I'm deserving of that at all.
I mean, I've heard the Beethoven of the Boss RC 505. I've heard the Father of the Loop. I've heard the internet's busiest bathrobe nerd. I've heard why did you?
You're making these up. You're making this shit up.
No. I mean, you know, people called you the Mike Jones of the hipster community. The CEO of getting
no, that is way too flattering. These are things that I can never live up to, dude.
But hold on. Can we talk about this? Because this ain't gonna happen today, hopefully. But getting unplugged at your own concert, that's wild.
Oh shit. Yeah. I hope that doesn't happen today. But that was a crazy day, dude. It's, you know, what's weird about that is how it fucks with your, like, the flow of the show. It just really threw things off for me. And it was actually a guy that was at the restaurant who had been to a few of my little shows, if you can call them shows, who helped me get back on track. You know, it's like I rely a lot on the audience to help me get there, and they usually pull right the fuck through every time.
Yeah. So look, man. I mean, I threw all these at you, but in your own words, who is Marc?
I mean, I'm just a dude with a little bit of musical training, who's obsessed with making shit up about stuff that usually makes no sense at all. But I'm a very sloppy one-man show, and I've gotten very lucky. And here I am on Vice goddamn News. It's pretty cool.
So for people, so once again, for people just checking in, we're here on Receiver, Marc Rebillet, and you do everything off the cuff. All the stuff you're making, the stuff that you were playing in the beginning, you make that up.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. I make it up from scratch. The shows, my live streams and my live shows are fully improvised. I have no set list, no plan, no real ideas. And I just go out on stage and just see what happens. Like, there are times where it's better. There are times where it's a little worse, but usually there's a happy medium, and there's always like highs and lows at the shows. You know, there'll be big peaks and valleys where I'm really feeling something, or I'm getting thrown off and I get back in the groove. So it's kind of a wild ride for me as well as the audience, and that's hopefully part of the draw.
What I mean, because the stuff you do when you're improvising, you're pulling from all over the place. You're freestyling. There's rap stuff in there. There's funk in there. There's ballad stuff in there. What were you listening to as a child to have been creating this stuff right now?
Yeah. It's a good question. My mom listened to a lot of Motown growing up, a lot of James Brown, Ray Charles, Temptations, Four Tops, Smokey Robinson, that kind of stuff, and Aretha Franklin, a lot of Aretha Franklin. And my dad he liked that stuff too. He liked Otis Redding a lot, but he listened to a lot more sort of like opera, Arabic music. He liked classical, but he was sort of all over the map. And I don't know, somewhere in there when I was a teenager, I started finding out about hip hop and like people like Snoop and Mobb Deep, and then I got into like Madlib and Slum Village and Jay Dilla and that whole thing. And it's sort of my influences as a kid fed that. A lot of my like Motown influences and funk influences fed into my appreciation of that. And it's been a long journey of listening to that kind of shit.
You, in addition to the improvisation that you're probably mostly known for, you do write tracks though.
Yes, I do. The tracks are written would be a bit of an oversell. I think I sit here for, maybe half an hour and hammer something out and get it to the point where it's clean, and then I'll record it. Yeah.
So I understand you wrote something pretty recently that you wanted to play?
I sure did.
Yeah, man. So tell me a little bit about it. What's the track called?
Well, it's called Essential Workers Anthem, and I wrote it after talking to a couple of my friends who, just been sending me articles and talking about essential workers and how they need to be first appreciated more, paid more, all that kind of shit. So I was like, you know what? This might be a good time to just show them a little love and play, like a theme song for them, sort of thing, All
right. So once again, for everybody just tuning in, just joining us, I'm Dexter Thomas, Vice News receiver, and we're here with Marc Rebillet, who's got a track for us. So you want to go at it?
About to lay it down, baby.
So once again, I think he's written this before, but he's about to do everything live, lay everything on top of each other. So let's see what happens.
This thing. Come on, baby. Yeah, I'm talking. This one goes out to all the workers getting up and down. Oh yeah, you're essential. Oh yeah, you're essential. All right. Oh yeah, you're essential. 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 You're essential, baby. Oh yeah, you're essential. Oh yeah, you're essential. I'm talking about Uber drivers, cops, doctors, healthcare workers, out under the back of house, front of house, restaurants, chefs, bike delivery, post office workers, ambulances, paramedics, road workers, transit workers, healthcare workers. You know who the fuck you are, getting out there doing the damn thing. We appreciate you. We appreciate the shit out of you, baby. And you gotta know that you're essential. Oh yeah, you're essential. Okay. Oh yeah, you're essential. Oh yeah, you're essential. Essential Workers Anthem.
There we go. All right. Yo, Marc, Rebillet once again here on Vice News Receiver. If you're just tuning in, you just heard the Essential Workers Anthem. And yeah, also, so I want to ask you a little bit about that. But for all those who are watching right now and, you know, hanging out in the YouTube chat, hanging out in the Facebook chat, because we're on both right now, because through the magic of the internet, we can do that apparently. If you got questions, if you have things you want to ask, throw that in. We'll be, you know, I'll be trying to incorporate that in. So, man, you told me a little bit about that, but give me the background on what made you decide to make an Essential Workers Anthem.
I mean, part of it is sort of an attempt, you know, I'm trying to remain topical and, you know, just trying to remain topical and do things that interest people. You know, I've done a lot of material about about asses and about sex, you know, which is a universal thing. It's always topical, but I feel like that well runs dry after a while. You know, you have to try some new shit. And so, yeah, I was having a lot of people just sort of sending me articles and tidbits about essential workers and how hard they're being worked and kind of what a nightmare it is out there for some of them right now. Not getting paid enough, not being appreciated, overworked, you know, and then obviously being put at great risk. And so, yeah, I mean, all my stupid ass can do from here is, well, we raised some money last month for a coronavirus relief fund with these live streams that I've been doing.
Tell me about that. Yeah, let me jump in this real quick. Because, I mean, you're definitely known for just the real silly songs, right? Somebody can hop in and into the chat and throw you a word, and I don't know, palm trees. You'll riff on that. Right? You'll rap, you know, from G to PG-13 to R to I don't even know where the hell you go, man. But you're all over the place.
NC-17, baby.
NC-17, but I don't know that you're known for talking about stuff that is actually necessarily directly affecting people's lives. I don't think that's maybe something that people would expect from you.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. I don't do that a lot because I generally just don't. I don't know. I think I don't like to get too mixed up in those conversations. You know, there tend to be a lot of sides, aggressive sides, a lot of tribalism, a lot of anger. But you know, with this, I felt like it's pretty universally agreed upon that, you know, we need to be showing these essential workers a lot of love. You know, I mean, a lot of us are sitting at home enjoying the conveniences of normal life. And that's thanks to these workers going out and busting their fucking hump every day so that we can do that. So yeah, man, I don't know. It just seemed pretty straightforward, you know?
So you were talking about, you actually did a fundraiser, right?
I did, yes. I do live streams every week, about every Sunday now, especially. And it's basically I take calls from my audience. They call a number, I talk to them, shoot the shit with them a little bit, and then they give me a topic to make a song about, just like you were saying. And then I make a song about it. And yeah, so for the month of March, I played 4 live streams, and I had a friend of mine, Ryan Bach, very talented dude, come up with a design for an exclusive piece of merchandise. We took 100% of the proceeds from that merchandise and donated it to the Global Giving Coronavirus Relief Fund, and we ended up raising like over 30 grand for this fucking thing, which was insane to me. I was not expecting to raise that amount of money, but we did. So it was really cool. I was very happy with how that turned out.
Got you, got you. So I mean, so you're sitting here, you're doing fundraising and stuff like this. How were people who are your fans reacting?
I hopefully positively, you know. I mean, I think a lot of my strategy here is just to try and get, you know, I am so used to being like, for the last 2 years, I've been pretty much on the road for half of that time. Essentially, I'm on the road constantly, playing shows constantly, and being back here in New York, with all of my shows being canceled for at least the next 3 months, has really made me miss connecting with crowds and audiences. And like, it's just a huge part of why I enjoy doing what I do. And so, yeah, just like, I'm very lucky to have already had this whole live streaming thing figured out. It allowed me to very quickly get online, you know, at regular intervals and connect with people who, you know, I otherwise would hopefully be connecting with at shows. But yeah, man, it's been great. The response has been great. People seem enthusiastic. I love my callers. I love the topics. And I just generally love my fucking audience across all of my social media. They're just really like cheerful, lovely, lovely people. Always bringing the energy, always bringing good vibes. They're really dope.
So can I ask you, so I mean, and once again, for people tuning in, just joining us right now, as receiver, my name is Dexter Thomas. We are talking with Marc Rebillet. And I mean, you're supposed to be on tour. Are you supposed to be on tour right now?
Yeah, let's see. What is today? April. Well, I was supposed to be on tour in Australia and New Zealand through the month of March. Then I had a couple weeks off. My next show would have been at Red Rocks, opening for this band called Lotus, which I was so excited about. That's canceled. After that, festivals, those are canceled. Bunch of festivals. So yeah, no shows officially in the foreseeable future, unfortunately. Yeah.
So let's see. So I wanna jump into some questions from the audience, because I know there's definitely some coming in right now. But can I throw something kind of deep at you real quick?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's do it. So what would you say, if you had to encapsulate it, what have you learned about yourself during this whole thing?
You know, I think I'm still learning this, but I've always, you know, known myself to be very, very happy on my own. I'm an only child, and so I've always like been very good at entertaining myself and finding happiness generally in solitude. But now that it's been well over a month, I am really starting to learn that I need people. I need people badly. That's something that I really hadn't considered or thought about. Hadn't really been forced to. But yeah, man, the loneliness is fucking real. And I'm sure everyone out there who's quarantining alone is feeling some version of this, but it was particularly shocking to me because I thought this would basically be like a pipe dream. But man, I am fucking lonely. I am fucking lonely, dude. So suffice it to say, being here and talking to you and shooting the shit is a really lovely diversion for me.
Yo, I mean, here's the thing is that you're basically, I mean, you're doing these 2-hour, 3-hour marathon streams where you're virtually anyway, you're surrounded by people. There are a lot of people in that chat room talking to you constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know, then I take off the earphones and I'm alone in my apartment. It's like, you know, I mean, no, you're right. You're right. I mean, being able to do that is also really, really great. But you know, it's just, it's the harsh reality of where we're at right now. And I'm coming to terms with it. It's really, it's throwing me for a loop, man.
Yeah, man. I mean,
what about you? Do you, how do you feel about it?
Whew. I mean, it's weird because I think I'm busier than I was. And so for a while, honestly, you know, because I travel a bunch, man, and just for work.
Yeah.
But at first it was kind of novel being at home because, I mean, when's the last time I slept in my bed for a week straight? But the novelty has worn off. I'll just put it that way.
Yes. Oh my God, I feel you, dude. It's yes, it is worn right the fuck off.
But yo, so we got some questions here. Let's see. So we're getting, I don't want to say complaints, but we're getting complaints that somebody wants you to get back on your damn keyboard. So somebody asked, let's see, who is it? Zach. Zach is asking from YouTube, what is your favorite funky sound to generate? And so maybe I'll just throw that to you and say, how about you show us?
Funky sound to generate. Ooh, you know, I like a little, yeah. All right, let's funk it up. Hold on, let's see. I'm making that sound, baby, making a funky sound. I'm making a funky sound. Hey, ooh, you know I'm making the funk. I'm gonna make when I'm making that badooba. A bop a deep bop, making funky shit. I'm talking funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Gonna funk that up. I'm gonna funk that. I like the clav, like a wah-wah clav that I've been using on this. I said, funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. Funk that up. I'm gonna funk that. I love that. Funk that up. I'm gonna funk that shit. 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 And then I put a little chorus on my voice. I'm gonna fuck it up for you tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna feel that funk inside your body. I'm gonna feel it right. Baby, gonna funk all around. You gotta put it around. I'm gonna
funk that ass. I'm gonna funk my ass and funk my ass. I said,
Funk my ass and funk my ass. I said,
funk my ass first.
but yo, I ass second.
All right, I'm gonna funk both of those asses on
Little chop and screw, yeah.
I'm gonna funk your ass, baby. Gonna funk it, chop it, screw it, baby. You know we're funking it up and down on the shit.
So yeah, that
All
clav,
right.
I've been really loving that wah wah clav lately.
Hey, all right, hold on. All right, so that was a brief excursion into the mind of Marc Rebillet once again. You're on receiver. We got a little bit longer, so we got some more questions. Hold on, what else we got here? Let's see. What do you do to pass the time aside from music? And that's from Jayla.
That's a good question.
Especially right now,
know,
right? I have some time to pass.
Yeah, dude, we have a lot of time to pass, and you know what? I love playing. I'm a big fan of abstract strategy board games like chess, Go, TAC, like these 2-player abstract strategy board games that are very simple, open information, no elements of luck, that kind of thing. I have a little collection of abstract strategy games, and of course I can't play them with anybody, so I'm not doing that. I'm eating food. I'm watching some dope films. I just finished watching Devs on FX. Great show with a slightly disappointing finale, I thought, but overall very much worth your time. And yeah, man, listening to music and making a lot of music, and sort of honestly, I spend most of my time these days just really working my ass off on this business and making sure that, if this thing goes on any longer, that the business can stay viable online, because really the vast majority of my income comes from live shows. So yeah, I've been really just grinding away on that, making sure that I can continue to sustain, in these conditions.
Yeah, I mean, being real, because that's something I'm hearing from a lot of musicians. I mean, people who we've had on, hopefully, people who are, not to give anything away, but people who we'll have on, next week and the weeks to follow. It's tough for musicians right now. It's really tough for musicians right now.
Yeah, man. I'm friendly with Anthony Fantano, the internet's busiest music nerd. He's just a delightful dude. But we were talking about that the other day, and how there are not a ton of industries that have been hit quite as hard as the live entertainment industry, because it's just gone. I mean, the industry has disappeared. It's kaput. There is no live entertainment. So everyone who's involved in that process, promoters, owners, managers, on down to like everyone, tech, front of house, back of house, everyone involved in live entertainment as an industry is basically just out of a job. So it's pretty fucked, dude. We're all just scrambling and trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, I guess for you, at least you have the infrastructure, you have the fan base who is watching you online.
Oh, totally. Yes. I am about as lucky as you can get in this situation, in that first, I don't have a band that, I rely on and who relies on me. There's no band structure. So I can carry on my operation pretty much as usual from my home. And yeah, dude, and I sort of already had this format figured out long before coronavirus. So I have just been extraordinarily lucky. It's mainly on the financial side that I've been having to sort of re-strategize and figure shit out. But yeah, man, for me, yes, I am for sure one of the lucky ones. There are a ton of people out there who I've talked to who are really just having a tough go of it. And it sucks, man. It sucks.
So we got a question that I want to get to. It's maybe a two-part because there's a lot of people asking this. So how many robes do you have? That is from who is that? Why on YouTube? And also, where are you getting these from? Specifically, the kimonos.
Oh man. Well, I think now I probably have about a dozen robes. I don't have a. Is that a lot? That's a lot. It's a lot of fucking robes. Yeah, I've probably got about a dozen, maybe a hair over that. But these hand painted silk babies right here, I got to give a shout out because they just sent me a couple because I just love them so much. But they're by Kim and Ono. They're a San Francisco family owned company that makes this. I mean, this shit is hand painted. It's painted on there, but someone's hands did that shit. And it's just this flowing silk. It's amazing, super comfortable, and pretty affordable too, as far as like really nice silk robes go. So, yeah, Kim and Ono, they're the shit.
Why the robes? Why the silk robes? Maybe that's the question here at the core of all this, I think.
The robe it was not really my choice, although it has sort of become that, but I'm gonna give them up sooner or later for another look. I gotta switch it up soon, you know. But okay. The robe thing came about because I made a few videos in one of the probably two robes I owned at the time. A couple of those videos got views, and I guess people started making fan art with me, you know, of me in a robe. So that circulated a little bit, and then at live shows, whenever I was at a hotel that came with a robe, I would take the robe for the show and wear it on stage. And then sort of over time, it developed into this burlesque thing where like at some point mid-show, the robe comes off. It's a whole thing. People come to shows in robes now. It's a whole fucking thing that I didn't plan on. So yeah, look out in the next year or two. And once the world returns back to normal, hopefully I'll be coming in a different outfit.
All right, man. Okay. Well, I thank you for keeping the robe on because, you know, once again, Vice News is a family organization. You know, we like to keep things children friendly here, as I'm sure you're very aware. But
yes,
yeah,
of course.
You're familiar with the work. But yeah, if you're just
absolutely,
jumping,
your whole catalog is nothing but family friendly stuff.
Of course, man, of course, you know. But if you're jumping in, my name's Dexter. But the important person here is the guest, Mr. Marc Rebillet. And so I want to get into.
Now, hold on a second. Do not underestimate Dexter fucking Thomas. Let me throw it right back. This dude, if you have not watched his work, watch his goddamn work. This is one of the most important faces in the Vice family. Okay?
We ain't going to get into that. We ain't going to do that. I appreciate it as it is. But I want to get into what you're known for, which is, again, going off the cuff. So let me see. I'm going to give you a word. I hear this is something you do, right? You just take a word and then you make a track?
Yes, hit me with a word, baby.
All right, let's say battery. I got a battery here on the table.
Battery.
So how about battery?
Okay, I like that. Battery.
Are you doing just lyrics, or are you also thinking of the feeling?
Oh, I'm thinking of the feeling for sure. Definitely thinking of the feeling.
Okay.
Battery, power, life, more power, battery power, and battery power, and I need it. I need it. I need that. I need it. I'm empty. I'm empty. I need a charger. I need to charge my shit. I need to charge my shit. I need to get that power. I need to charge it up. I need to sit in the charger. I need to charge it up. And so I'm empty. I said I'm empty. I've been in quarantine, goddamn it, and now I'm empty. I need to charge that. I need to get big. I need to get bigger so I can run faster. Need to get that shit, baby. Need to get a little bit of power. And this goddamn bitch need power. I need power. I need some goddamn motherfucking power. I said plug me in. I said my lithium ion is running on empty. The milliamp powers are running low. I need a little power in this bitch.
Need a little power in this goddamn bitch. Need a little bit of bad power in this bitch. Need a little power in this goddamn bitch.
Need power. Need power. I need power. I need some goddamn motherfucking power. I need some goddamn motherfucking power. Goddamn, I need it.
Power.
Yo, wow. Okay, all right. Let's. If you were just now joining the stream, I don't know what to tell you because we're about to wrap it up. But Marc Rebillet has been on with us for Receiver. Once again, I've been Dexter Thomas for Vice News. Little series called Receiver where we check in with musicians all over the world and see what they're up to. And apparently what this gentleman is up to is making weird songs off the cuff.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
So let me ask you one more question. Is there something that, I mean, this is the possibly a conversation that a lot of people who are really familiar with you haven't seen it. Let me rewind. A lot of people probably have not seen you be able to have a conversation like this where it's okay, let me get serious for a second. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Is it difficult for you to do that just because, I don't want to say you worry about offending people or whatever, but it's difficult to do that with the kind of art that you make right now?
I've never found it super tough to go there. I mean, I think initially, like when I first started playing shows, I used to live in Dallas and I would play bars and restaurants there. And when I was sort of figuring out what the show was, it was 100%, excuse me, it was like 100% stupid absurdity. And then in the year or two that I've been on the road doing this and sharpening the knife and figuring out what works and what doesn't, I've introduced, I would say now it's probably like 85% stupid bullshit and like 15% heartfelt stuff. I've found myself a little more drawn to big real themes of like love and loss and motivation, sadness, happiness, all of these big things that you don't have to talk about necessarily in a humorous way. Everyone connects with that. And so I found myself singing and talking a lot more about that in my streams and in my shows. And I haven't, it feels good to do that. I think you need to, if you want something to be entertaining, you have to give people highs and lows. It's something that I look for always when I'm listening to an album. I want to be taken on a journey that's not one note, that's not one frequency. I want you to bring me up here, take me down, silence, noise, big, small. And so, obviously like comedy and authenticity, like it should all be part of the ride. So I don't know. That's a long-winded way of saying that I do feel comfortable going there with my audience. I just don't do it super often,
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I know it's a lot of artists, definitely are thinking about kind of all the time is, okay, how much of me is in here? Not that what they're performing is not them, but how much of all of them they put into it. You dig what I mean?
Absolutely, dude. Yes, that's I have grown into that slowly. It used to all be just like parody ridiculousness, and I have been enjoying injecting a little bit more of myself and my genuine cares and desires and thoughts. It's nice, but I've had to grow into it. It's taken a while, because like the comedy is, I guess you could see it as a sort of defense mechanism against like getting too real or whatever. But I don't ever want to get too real with it because that's not, I don't think, my place with this particular show. Maybe if I do an album that sounds different, that's on a different sort of tip, then maybe I can access that. But it's a balance for me. So a little bit of comedy to temper the real shit. Gives people something to laugh at, and then maybe something to cry at every once in a while.
I dig it. Well, yo, so once again, Marc Rebillet joining us here on Receiver for Vice News. But yeah, with that, we're running up on time now. But I wonder if I could ask you to throw, we could do one more word association with you.
Absolutely, dude. Throw it my way.
Yo, so let's just keep it simple, man. Let's go with the name of the show, Receiver. You can play us out.
Ooh, Receiver. Yes. Oh man, that's great. Yeah, I love that. Okay, Receiver.
So walk me through it. What you thinking?
Hello. 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 Are you receiving me? Hello. 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 Are you receiving me? Anybody out there? Do you know what I deserve? Yeah, it's been a long time since I saw your face. Know that I want a little taste. Are you receiving me? Are you receiving me? Oh, tell me what to say. Oh, tell me what to say. 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 Oh, tell me what to say. Before I lose my mind. Tell me what to say. Tell me what to say. Receiver.
Yo. Once again, y'all, Marc Rebillet, can't thank you enough, man. Really appreciate you coming on, man.
Oh, dude, Dexter, likewise. Thank you so much for having me. Dream come true, dude. I've been watching Vice forever and ever, and you guys are the shit. Keep it up.
Dude, much appreciated, man. And well, when this is all over, let's do this in person sometime, yeah?
Oh, hell yeah. More than down for that.
All right, y'all. Thanks once again for watching, and we will see you next week. Peace.
Bye, y'all.